I am. Now I'm recording. I'll try to see if I could send this out later on. Uh, yeah, no worries, bro. Off-topic silly question. Is there any place to find whether I'm a senior or a junior or just adding out my credits manually? Um, I think on my FIU, you could find this out. Yeah, on my FIU, you go to like your about section and it'll tell you whether you're a senior, junior. You could also, yeah, you go in your academic plan, and then you like you scroll down and it'll tell you how many credits that you have. If it doesn't explicitly say what what you are, you'll be able to use that. And then there's like different levels. You could look it up online as well. That'll tell you whether you're senior, junior, or anything. Um, yeah, if you can see that you're a senior, if you're 90 plus, you could look at your official transcript. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Thank you so much. That's what it is. Your unofficial transcript that will tell you. So I've previous bachelor of a bunch of extra credits. So I had this problem too. Because I took a lot of AP classes in high school, I had a whole bunch of credits coming in. There on your unofficial transcript, there are two different sections that you could check for your current credits. The one that is bigger will be the one most likely from your previous major, and the one that is smaller is actually the one for your new major, most likely. And well, if you've done a second major, you probably will just stay as a senior, to be honest. So when you're applying for classes, you might just be a senior. Monique Ross, I've heard she's good. I've not taken SWE as yet. Yeah. Uh, yeah. At least, yeah, and I'm not 100% sure, but at least I know someone who took a previous degree before, a different bachelor's, and they still show up as as like a senior or something, I believe. They don't show up as like priority. That's just for honors. They do show up as like a senior, and I know they have like more classes to complete. So, but Monique Ross, Alec, good choice. Would recommend. Yeah. Oh, Sergio Pisano is good. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's a consensus on Sergio Pisano. He's good. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything in chat as well. Feel free to open up your mic. Would love to have some company here as well. That's Sweet is good. Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone has to take that. So okay, cool. Let me just, but that's, if anyone has any other questions in programming one, feel free to leave that in chat. I'll answer those as well. Cool. But next in the programming scheme, so you take programming one, right? That's 4 credits. I would take this. It's a pretty important class to take. I would say some of the 3 most important classes that you could take at FIU or for your CS degree are right here. Programming one, programming two, and data structures. Those 3 set up the rest of your degree at FIU, I feel like. So programming two, I'm going to be frank, and I'm going to say that your options generally for programming two are typically not going to be amazing. There's that's just the reality. Programming two, Ron, Jocelyn Smith. I've heard different reviews about these professors. I'm not trying to say anything negative because there's pros to every professor, but the same level that you'll get for programming one, you won't necessarily get that same for programming two, unfortunately. That's just how it is. But but this is still, regardless of an important class, you start learning more about object-oriented programming. It's things like abstract classes. You learn about polymorphism, important things that you might get asked on interviews, because I actually got asked a whole bunch of OOP questions on like different interviews before. For State Farm specifically, I did. So they do come up, and they'll come up in different company interviews as well. And as well, you start learning the basics of data structures. You start learning stuff that's like stacks and queues. You start learning linked lists. I learned those 3 at least in my class. And I heard someone was learning like sets or hash sets or something like that, which is cool. That's pretty important in data structures, but but some professors go faster than others. It depends on your professor. Stacks, queues, linked lists. Yeah, you'll definitely learn those most likely in your class. Okay. So I had this professor, Jay Nendra Navalaka. Personally, I had him in person. He was a good professor. Um, he may not be for everyone. I personally liked how I yeah, I liked how he taught. He was like with like a whiteboard. He knew everything he was talking about. You know, if you ask questions, he's fine. I've heard, different reviews about him for other classes, but like for instance, databases, people say stay away from him for databases, but personally I feel like with Navalaka for programming 2, he's one of your better options, because again, programming 2, typically you won't get the best set of options. So that's just what it is. But overall, with everything, I think he was fine. His exams are a bit tough, and his homework is like, it's kind of a toughish kind of grader. Like I came in with previous programming knowledge, and I still got a good amount of points off of my assignments. So it's it's not necessarily a walk in the park with Navlaka, but you do learn. I feel really solid, or at least with taking with him. A popular professor I know for programming 2 is Gregory Shaw, however. And like Deanna said, yeah, he's good if you want to learn. Very tough grader. I've heard very similar. Like with assignments, he will go no mercy. He doesn't tolerate any sort of like cheating or anything like that. I know my friend, like in one of my friend's class, like what was this, fall 2019? He took Shaw, and there was this one assignment. And a whole bunch of people I think copied of one another, and he placed like 13 students or something like that, like under some sort of like academic like probation or something like that. It was literally insane. So you can't mess around with him in that class. But he is one of the like 60% of the grade. that's tough. Um, but overall, he's an okay professor, a good professor. I never had him, so I can't fully say, but at least that's what I've heard about him. Compared to some of the other options they may have. Um, you'll see, and then there's some Kianoush. Did someone say something about Kianoush? Kianush is good, but I don't recommend if you're a beginner at Java code. Typically, here's the thing about Kianush. Kianush is a good professor, but his assignments are hard. His assignments are pretty hard, and his tests aren't easy either. But everyone likes him, including me, because he curves everyone up at the end of the semester. How Kianush works is that for every test, essentially, if the average is less than 80%, and basically for every exam, if the average is less than 80, he'll bump everyone up until the average is 80%. So he'll play around with the grades, and sometimes you'll just see in one night like your grade go from like, I don't know, like an F to like a B or something like that. It's literally crazy, but you'll see that a lot of people call him like their savior and stuff because of that. And if you put in the effort, I feel like go to his classes and whatnot. You do learn. Like I actually learned a good amount of C in programming 3. That's when I had him, and I'm having him now for OS. He's good. He's generally like one of the better options out here, but still tough. I mean, in any case. Um, yeah, Maria Charters, again, really good. Let me see. Ron, toss up. Maybe some of you in chat can say about Ron. Same in programming 3. Yeah, kind of the same in programming 3. I had him in programming 3. Assignments are tough. And exams are pretty hard, but he curves. At the end of the day, you could still end up pretty good. But you do learn. It's the same thing. And there's Fahad Saeed. I heard he's good. I looked online for him really recently for a class. Doesn't have too many reviews, but I heard in general he's good. Carl Ron, avoid if possible. Okay, so I mean, you do what you have to do. I'm not discouraging anyone from any of these professors or anything like that. I'm not telling you like don't take this professor or anything. This is just my personal opinion. Just all of us as homies in the chat at the moment. So I'll just be as honest as I can. If you are able to avoid, I guess, the following professors, William Field, Carol Ron, and Jocelyn Smith. I personally would, but only because William Field, I heard he's an okay professor, but his styling guide for his assignments is crazy. And if you don't follow up to it, you're in for a rough time. You actually are. Um, he's very very strict with how your classes are. We get a decent curve. Okay. Oh, she curves. Okay. Carl Ron. I never had Ron side. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have any personal experience. Uh, yeah. Ron, I think is overall fine. She could be a harsh grader. Makes sense. Yeah, I would probably. That's what I'll leave it at with Ron and Jocelyn Smith. Yeah, is okay. He makes you use his own book. He made a book, and then he'll make you buy it for programming too. And yeah, I heard he's an okay professor. Um, I'm gonna just leave it at that. And it's usually typically offered every semester. Oh, school. Jason Liu, he typically offers like fall B or like spring B classes. Like there because for classes you could either take like a full C semester, which is like the whole semester, or you could take like A, summer A, spring A, fall A. That's like the first half of the semester, and then like fall B is like the second half of the semester. So Jason Liu typically teaches it then, in the fall B semester, so the later half of the year. It just might be more intense if you're taking it with Jason Liu at that point. Um, Jason Liu for programming 3, easy entry to get into data structures, no finals, nothing. Good luck, bro. Have a good. Hope you do well in your exam. You're gonna kill it. You got this, man. Uh, yeah, that's what I would suggest about these professors. Again, feel free to interrupt me about something. Perfectly.
If you're completely new, when you're
Yeah.
going into this, do you recommend taking an introduction to computing? I'm getting my second degree, and it's for BS in computer science.
Which class? I'm
And
sorry.
I'm taking Java programming now,
Mhm.
but nevertheless, I haven't taken anything before that. Um, should I take an introduction to computing? It's not necessary, but I'm thinking, is it going to be any different? Is it going to be like a building block for programming one, although programming one is going to be a building block for the rest? Uh,
Truthfully, so um,
or should I just scratch it off and not worry about it?
you could, I would suggest just leave that for like a later semester. It's not, you don't do any programming in that class.
Oh, what do you do?
It's essentially they'll explain like different majors to you, maybe even similar to like this. Like they'll explain like what computer science is, what computer engineering is, what internships are, like how to get involved in the community,
Okay.
things like that. It's just like lectures basically. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Like what? Lectures? What did he say? Sorry.
Mhm. Yeah. Just like lectures. And if you're taking it online, you probably have some assignments to do. But that class is a pass or fail class. So if you're taking it in person, it's typically like if you just attend all the classes, you'll be fine. Like you don't really do anything much in that class.
Got it.
So if you're like tossed up for like if you want to be like a full-time student, like 12 credits, and you're running like out of classes or something like that, I would suggest like leave this credit for that when you're like in a pickle or something like that. Just I would say
I can take it later on, like down the line, maybe, I
you
don't
could
know.
take it the last semester.
Okay.
You could take it whenever. Yeah. Cool.
Can I get your opinion on that database management?
Database management.
Yeah.
I haven't. Let me look up the class. Personally, wait, did I close this off? Yeah. What is so I haven't taken. I'm taking the grad level one right now. I'm currently doing the 4+1 program. So I'm taking COP 5725. As far as I know, the material's pretty similar. The material's not too bad. I know that Sergio Pisano was teaching that class, and he looked like
Okay.
he was doing really good. Yeah, he's a good professor for that class. Give me a second. Let me just pull
How
this.
about Pro Baker Nogueronga? Pro
Uh,
Baker, Pro Baker.
Prabhakar,
RA, yeah.
I heard Prabhakar. I know for like stuff like algorithms and whatnot, he's a good professor. He's like one of those professors that really they're like I don't know like he's similar like what like Geary, Prabhakar, like really they're really deep into like theory kind of stuff, which is good for
Theory.
like database. I feel like Prabhakar, as far as what I know, I haven't really heard anything negative about him. So you could probably go along with Prabhakar. Um, Let me see who else here for database. The only one I know about here, Shuxing Chen, I've heard is easy. You probably be fine just taking Shuxing Chen as well. Uh, Tim Down, after that, Navlaka. So this is about Navlaka. So I had him for programming too, perfectly fine, like good professor. But I've heard like horror stories about him for database. If you could avoid, I would maybe suggest to avoid, but you do what you have to do, right? But Navlaka, I heard sometimes he's like dismissive towards students or something. Not too sure. Uh, I'll leave it at that. Deep learning with Parvakar, probably a good class. Yeah, he's deep into theory, so you'll probably learn a lot with him. Tim Downey for next centric. So heard that's a really I actually wanted to take this class for Tim Downey, but I've heard he gives a lot of work for this class. But you learn a lot. You learn a lot, but it's
Who does, sorry? What's the name of the professor?
Tim Downey for NetCentric. Here I could also open this up here as what is it? COP 4703, right, Janet? Uh, let me see. 47. Okay, thank you. Or it's not COP. It's I think CN. Yeah. I was wondering for a second. CN CNT 4713. Where is this? Where is this? Cool. Yeah. So yeah, typically offered every semester. Um, so you have I think Kianush teaches it sometimes too. Kianush is just like the same kind of for like his classes more or less. He's pretty consistent. He doesn't change. Kind of hard assignments, kind of hard tests, but he's a good professor and you'll learn a lot out of him. So if you're taking it for NetCentric, probably expect the same. For Tim Downey, good professor, you learn a lot, you learn so much, but he does stuff like vocabulary tests that you have to memorize like 100 words for in the test, and you might not even like get to all the words. So that's like a thing. There's like a bunch of projects as well for that class, but you learn Python. I mean, that's a plus. uh it's always good to learn Python, so I would recommend it, but keep in mind with like your other classes as well, maybe that might be one of your bulkier classes, but I would suggest for that class. So but good professor. um you do what you have to do. If anyone wants to as well, you could share your schedule, and like what you're thinking as well, and I could review it as well if you think like it might be manageable or whatnot. More than happy to do that as well. You could speak up or like leave it in chat. I'll do that as well. Um, but but overall, yeah, for that class, you should be fine. You should be fine. Just expect the workload. That's the only thing I would say. Um, and then yeah, so I was going over programming too. If anyone has any questions about that, again, speak up or leave in chat. Uh,
I was going to ask not necessarily about programming two, but going to programming three. It's not part of the elective selection.
yeah, it's
So
mhm.
what do you recommend?
For programming three.
If no, I'm saying since it's not really on the map, right? Do you recommend that we take it anyway, or that we take it as an elective if we could? Can we?
Or programming three.
Yeah.
So programming three is actually so I might sometimes call it programming three, but as of last semester, spring semester, it's called systems programming. So
Okay.
yeah, so but
Gotcha.
it'll always be COP 4338. That's that. You can't really avoid that class. Usually, because yeah, I know someone taking the BA and they have to take
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me. I'm like, why isn't it there? Yeah, okay.
that. Yeah. Sorry about that. But for that, if you could take usually for programming three, you could take Tianush, if you're if you're able to, or usually you'll take it with Ron. It's usually one or the other
Okay.
typically. Um, yeah, and so there is let me see. Let's see. Some of you guys are typing in chat. COP with Rice or 3541 with Hernandez. I took that. So that's why am I forgetting the name? Logic for CS. Easy class with Hernandez. Actually one of the easier yeah, one of the easier electives you can take. I'll go over actually like electives and stuff as well in a bit. But I took it almost easier, so recommend. Online. I took it online actually. Yeah, I took it online. I took it like during the summer, like summer A or something like that. It was fun. Um, the theoretically, yeah, it's a pretty theoretical class. Uh, functional programming. Wait, let's let me scroll back up for a second. Cop 4555 with Race. Yeah. Her that's a good class. Not too bad. Never took, so I'm not sure how much I could say about it. Software engineering, to finish the math minor. Uh, actually, can you take that class to finish the math minor? Uh, that's I'm not too sure, but that seems manageable. Alec, so we won programming three, uh, database, and yeah, it would depend kind of on your professors, but I think that's good. That sounds good. I would say okay for that. Yeah, yeah, cool. That's chat. Okay, so okay. So here is like the most important class that you can take in all of CS. Honestly, it's data structures. COP 3530. If you have to like, yeah, uh, if you have to pay attention in one of your classes in all of your degree, it's probably you should pay attention in this one, because a lot of interviews they would ask content are in data structures and in algorithms, and this class directly covers it. So it's good, it's good to have a good understanding of this subject. Um, I personally for this class I had Bajuelos for this class online. Honestly, did not enjoy it the most. I know that people have different opinions about, Bajuelos. He is a good professor. Just his teaching style was not personally for me. I don't know if that really makes any sense.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Do you see that you have Antonio Bajalos?
Mhm.
I I didn't like I got some of the stuff he was trying to say, but most of like the
Mhm.
trees and like it's like the hash tables. That's the only part I don't understand clearly enough.
Yeah, yeah, I feel
I
the same
mean,
exact way. Yes, my boy Hernandez. If you could take Hernandez, I'm gonna be honest. I regret not taking Hernandez. I had him for programming one, and I hear he's the same for program for data structures. You know, recommend if you can. Honestly, people would say like there's like a debate between for Hernandez and versus Bajuelos. The two Antonios, but like that Bajuelos will help you teach it more like theoretically, so you get like a deeper understanding of it versus the I said Bajuelos, right? Yeah, and then Hernandez on the other hand teaches more like applicationally wise. Um, I personally, I mean, if you're looking for more uh, uh, if you're looking for, to like understand algorithms in terms of just for like interviews and stuff like that, Hernandez is like perfect, I feel like. But here, let me see what you're saying. You're taking, I'm missing another one. Just you're looking, Janet, you're looking for an elective. Okay, I can help you with that. That's good. Here, let me finish up here with the data structures. Here, okay, so you'll see Antonio Dominguez. That's Babalos. He's good. He's a good professor. You know, but if possible, I would personally recommend Hernandez. But that's just me. Janki Bimani, new professor. Don't really know how that's gone. Jocelyn Smith. Um, kind of same for programming too, if you remember what I said. Um, he's like, okay, you'll have to buy his book, and he teaches in a unique kind of way, I think. But I never had him, so I can't really tell you. Um, let's see, Anonymous Doll. Uh, avoid if you can. All I'm going to say. All I'm going to say. I've heard different reviews of him. Uh, I've heard like his grading is good. Um, but you don't really learn anything in this class. Like for algorithm techniques, I've heard this, and I've heard this for data structures as well. You know, if possible, I would possibly avoid, but you do what you got to do at the same time too. So it's not as well. Take my opinions, like just do what you need to do to graduate as well. Like, don't worry about me saying like, I wouldn't recommend this person, I wouldn't recommend that person. Do what you need to do to graduate at the end of the day. you know like if you're wondering like whether to wait off like another semester for like a better professor, or just like do this professor, just it'd probably just be better to do this professor, um because at the end of the day, yeah, that's what I would suggest. So take some of my opinions with a grain of salt, when it comes to this stuff. I'm just telling you from my experience, being no cap. Carl Ron, Whitaker's good. Ivanovsky, mixed reviews. But very important class. I would not push this off to the side. Uh, and as well, you could also take this class. This is programming 3, systems programming. You basically like learn. For also those who don't know what data structures are basically they're the it's an important class because you learn how to manage information. You learn how to categorize things, like data given in like certain ways, or like how to manage with it. And you learn data structures to be able to deal with that data. So stuff like linked lists, that you started learning in programming too, you'll dive even deeper in data structures, stacks, queues, linked list, trees, hash tables, hash sets, hash maps, maybe, graphs, and then just algorithms in general. Like you'll learn like all sorts of sorting methods. You'll learn um, you'll learn a whole bunch of stuff like that. It's a good class to pay attention to. And then there's also this class, systems programming. You learn essentially like the basics of you learn a bunch of different things, but mainly the important thing is you learn C in this class. You learn like data structures in C, basics of C, some sort of like object-oriented programming in C as well, with like structs and stuff like that. And then you also learn some like networking stuff in that class as well. Like at least for Kianush, the first assignment that I did, you had to make a chatbot using like ports and stuff like that across networks. Pretty cool. That was in Java. And then you start learning like data structures and stuff in C, which ironically for me personally, I learned more data structures in this class I understood it better in this class than data structures. Um, but but as well, when you're looking at the flow chart, I didn't mention this before. There's this white arrow kind of thing here, and what that means is that it's a co-requisite. So you could either take these two at the same time, or or you take like you could take one of them before like the other one kind of thing.
What do
Uh,
you recommend? Taking them separately?
you could take them together or separately, yeah. Like
Well,
so.
what do you recommend though?
I'm sorry.
No. What do you recommend?
I would recommend taking them separately.
Yeah.
Um, personally, I did data structures in fall 2019, and then I did systems programming spring 2020. I found out a lot more manageable than some people. They said that they took like two at the same time, and it's just like a lot of data structures like you learn at the same time because you do cover data structures in both, and they're both programming intensive as well. So you'll have a lot of assignments to do if you take these two at the same time. So I would personally not recommend that if possible.
Okay.
Uh, Advanced differential equations. You mean like the normal different diffie Alec, or like advanced diffie Advanced. I've not taken advanced diffie I just taken the normal diffie but you're taking this for math minor. I would for math minor, I would say it's probably not worth. Like you could probably for if you're doing math minor, you could probably take like there's easier classes probably out there, like graph theory, numerical analysis. You'll probably be fine. Although if you're feeling really confident in diffie go for it.
I'm taking different education right now, so
You like it?
yeah, I like it. I really like it a lot. I'm doing like with informations and such. And I'm just right now I'm trying to like understand how get from one S2 to S2 to like one one six S3 basically.
Oh, I know what you're doing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Yeah, I would
Actually,
say
doing the
if
series is like which is one of the series which you basically be like y equals to infinity, n equals 0, which is basically which you basically felt as like n a n x n to x to the power of n basically.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
That's the shit I did before, and I kind of like it.
It's interesting. I like diffie a lot. It makes a lot of sense, and there's no proof, so it's a nice class.
Yeah, that's what I like about the graph theory.
A nice. Yeah, I would. I mean, if you're interested in it, go for it. Or if you're looking, I mean, it depends what your goals are. If you're looking to just take like easy classes, I would not recommend advanced DPQs. But if you're looking to just feel your interests and you like DPQs, go for it. Yeah, there's perfectly nothing wrong with that. Just take a look at the professors to see who's teaching it. Because for math, like professors definitely do matter a lot for like math classes as well. Same as for programming. Anything in STEM, really, the professors do depend a lot. Um, but yeah, but like I was saying before, I would not recommend taking systems programming and data structures together. That's just me. Uh, Let me see here. Okay, so we're kind of like on this section here right now. Uh, okay, yeah, okay, so computer architecture, this class before used to be combined between CDA 3103 and CDA 4104, 41 or something like that. It was split up into 2 semesters. But now they have this class combined into like one major or one major, one class. So you learn this class is now pretty packed. That you can't rush these, like these classes before they were not that bad because you 2 semesters basically, um and they were a lot simpler, so you didn't really have to worry about them too much. But now the fact that they're combined, it's a bit more difficult for sure. So definitely can't push this class off to the side. um Most people for this class take Trevor. He's a very popular professor. He gives a lot of assignments, and he uh he has like I think kind of high expectations. I never had him, weirdly enough. I had different professors for this. Yeah, yeah, you learn a lot from this class. I'm kind of jealous of everyone who's taken Trevor. Yeah, but that's the other side of the coin too. It's interesting. Okay, so this is how I feel about architecture. It's like it's interesting, but it's a bit difficult. And then yeah, right. I I wish he taught something else too. Kind of a shame. I think he does, doesn't he? Doesn't Trevor? Yeah, study a lot. Yeah, that's exactly what I've heard. Do you guys know if Trevor's taught anything else, or if he teaches anything else? Yeah, honestly, very good professor. Yeah, he's a good professor. Just be prepared for some of the like the studying and the work, but it's worth definitely. From what I've heard, worth. Um, let me, I think my yeah. Sorry, systems programming. Oh, he might be a good choice for that. Okay, yeah. So that's computer architecture. Yeah, no problem, Jose. If you have ever any other questions as well, ping me for sure, DM me. I'm more than happy to help out as well. So, but yeah, so let me go ahead and let's see. Okay, so I skipped over this part because I was kind of going in like this direction, but these classes, so typically when you're starting off like in your first year or second year, you want to take like well, programming one's like one of those first classes you take. But another one of these classes too, you might take along in that same semester is discrete structures or discrete math. And if you had to ask me, if you're okay, which one to take because you see two classes here, discrete structures or discrete math, please, unless you love proofs, just take discrete structures. Or if you're doing the math major or math minor, then you might have to take discrete math. But for me, don't take discrete math. It's not worth. It's really not worth. Take discrete structures. You could take it with someone like Whitaker, really good professor. Take it with someone like Kianush, really good professor as well. Bohelis, I think, teaches this class too sometimes. Solid professors. You don't have to worry too much with this class. There's this one professor I think that might teach it. Name is Masood Malani. Uh, don't recommend. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, and then I spoke about computer architecture. And then yeah, so once you have finished computer architecture, systems programming, you can then go into operating systems. And operating systems, what that class is, it's basically what the subject of the class is in the name. You learn essentially how the internal workings of the computer work. You learn about threads, thread management. You learn about it's a lot of material. I'm actually taking it right now with Kianush. He's honestly the same for all of his classes. He's a good professor. Expect tough assignments, expect tough tests, but curves everything. He's very very lenient grader. Like basically, if you do an assignment, you'll get 100 on it. Like even if you turn in an assignment and if it doesn't work completely, you'll get like a 90, which is exactly what happened like with my last assignment. We didn't do a whole part and we got a 90, so very lenient grader. Um, and there's a few other peeps that teach operating systems as well. Uh, Ramaswamy, yeah, Kianush, he's someone I know who teaches it. Dong Chen, easy-ish professor. Which professor am I speaking about? Kianush. He teaches OS, as well. You good professor, but expect a lot of work. Not a lot of work. Some tough assignments, and he does like Also, that's another thing with Kianush online that's relevant to mention. He does Zybooks. If you guys know what Zybooks are, Trevor does Zybooks as well. Zybooks is essentially this website. Yeah, Trevor. Yeah, exactly. Trevor does as well. Where you complete like modules and stuff on, and they basically serve as like the textbook. I can actually open up mine right now for just to see you guys can see what it looks like. I don't know if this helps out, but you do like it basically serves as your textbook. They have like videos, participate, activities like questions and stuff. And some of the questions, you could just like fly through this if you wanted. I'll be honest, like all you have to do is just like that. But it's good to like read through the information as well. Don't do that actually. Read through the material and stuff. That's a good thing. And as well, there's like challenge activities. I don't know this, but yeah, you actually have to get the questions right if you want to move forward with it. Um, yeah, so that's something relevant to know about these classes as well since they're virtual. But yeah, Kianush is good professor. Lighting Hu, Heard is okay. I'm not sure else is offering this class. So if you're planning on taking this class, and you could share like a list of professors that are taking it, or I could go more into it, but that's that. Yeah. So then essentially, so that's all the stuff. So this is stuff that both BS and BA have to take. But then you start getting to this area over here. You don't have VA does not actually have to take the senior project. Lucky y'all who don't have to take this. But if you do, but if you are a BS, you have to take senior project. And like I mentioned before, you could either take it all as like one class, senior project, which is 3 credits, um, or you could take this as like split up. If you with this class though, this is one of like the later classes that you take. This is actually this is the last class you take when you're in CS. Like when you're in capstone 2, you should be graduating the same semester. Or if you're taking senior project, like with the 3 credits, you graduate that semester. You That's basically what the advisors tell you, and actually I would say the same as well. Like that's like your last class essentially. So and also it's also pretty intense. Like it's 3 credits or 2 in 1, but when it comes to like this part of like towards the end, you want to start taking like maybe easier. You know how I mentioned like you want to take like easier classes, or like don't take all your easy classes at the beginning. Leave some at the end, whether it be electives or like gen eds and stuff. Leave some of those for like this point. um, Recommend taking a divided or the 3 credit. Honestly, I would just say take the 3 credit. Because I heard you have to put in as much work for the 3 credit one as like, so this is like a new thing. People are taking the split like right now. This is like the first time they're taking it, and they honestly hate it. Like it doesn't like, and they removed like the 3 credit class before, but now they're actually bringing it back because of people like it. And a new flow chart. Yeah. No, you could talk to your advisor. My advisor actually, I can confirm this. I talked to my advisor, and they could put you in a class if you want. You could also look it up too. It's CIS 4911, I believe, and you can enroll in it. Um, I would personally suggest just taking it all at the end, but don't when you're in that semester. Don't take that class with any other semesters unless you really sorry, don't take that class with any other classes unless you need to. And if you're taking other classes, take easy classes because that's a super intense class. Um, Regardless if you're taking it with split or together. And if you had to, just like save yourself some time, just take it all at once. Like just save yourself some pain. Just take it all at once. Um, that's if you can. And there's only one professor for this class. His name is forget his name. There's only one professor, but basically it's like group work. The majority, like you work on a project together. You have to come up with like basically all that you've learned in your CS education kind of before, whether it be like databases, it'd be like prototyping like a project or something like that. You have to put all those skills together and come up with like a full scale like application or like a project by the end. So it's an intense class for sure. And you work in teams on that. I don't know if you can choose team members. I think you could choose team members actually for that class. But unlike that class, there's software engineering. You can't choose team members for that class. You're typically put into a group of other people based on like your last name in SWE. And SWE, I believe you have to take for both BA and BS. Correct me if I'm wrong though, chat please. But yeah, that's typically a class. You don't get to choose your partners, and your groups are like 4 and 5, and you're okay. Cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, so you do take it even if you're BA as well. And with that class, yeah, you're essentially let me you're working on like a possibly you'll do like a full stack application, or you'll make some sort of project, and you learn like the basics of like Scrum or some other project management like idea, and you implement that, and then you go more in depth into that in the senior project. Let's see, I do have to take software engineering and BA proper. I'm actually taking that next semester, and I have Roke. Yeah, I have Roke planned for. I heard he's the best for that. I would recommend that. Um, Operating system, QNOOF. Yeah, QNOOF if you can. Definitely recommend that. And then there's these other yeah, so that's sweet. I can't really say too much about these because I haven't taken them as yet. I'm a junior, but I have taken these classes. They're mainly writing classes, the ENC 3249 and CGS 3095. They're typically, in my opinion, more of your easier kind of classes. So if you're taking harder classes, and it's if it's not something like SWE, you could substitute like one of these classes in them as well. And I know typically for ENC 3249, the professors are actually awesome for these classes. Uh, we could look online and there's usually like 5 out of 5 ratings for them. I had a professor like that. Like really, these 3249 is not that bad. 3095 is more I would say. It's an ethics class. It's computer ethics essentially. Like, are robots going to take over the world? Like, that sort of stuff. Um, with this class, I would suggest taking it with Max Langen. I think I think that was his name. I had him online. And it was actually fun.
Yes, yes. Teach McLagan for Technology for Global Arena.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alec. Yeah, so I would take him for that. It's actually funny because I was taking I had him for the summer. He was supposed to be like an in-person, but then we went virtual. So he just like, but he didn't feel like doing like online lectures or something like that. Yeah, and then he just like, he didn't have any Zoom lectures or anything like that. He just had you have to do a video for the class, an essay, and like some discussion posts. Pretty easy class. And you took it with Wells. Yeah, yeah, Wells probably. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Also, Langen, he's super funny though. As far as I heard, I wish I had him in person. But attendance is required in that class though, if you take him in person, and he like calls on people. So if you're comfortable with that, take him in person. But Wells online, yeah, I would say Wells is a good choice online if you have to take online. Because I have a friend who he's taking with Wells and really not that bad. Yeah. So that's like the majority of here. Um, that's the majority of that. I know a few people asked. Someone. I'm sorry, I left it for so much later. Yeah, yes. So you asked about electives. I'm gonna go over that right now. So for electives, there's a few electives that so okay, how electives work is that you basically have to take 9 electives. And with electives, you have to take one from each field, from which of these categories call it. One is like foundations, so they're more like theory-based classes. You have things like game theory, algorithm techniques, graph theory, more math-based classes. Systems is, in my opinion, kind of like a mix between the two. And then applications is like, um, you're learning like something actually like in the field or something like that, like data mining, suite, software testing, AI, um, that sort of stuff that you might actually see in the field. Um, but so you're taking, um, okay, you're taking databases, BD management, OS with Chen, and 4713 with Downey. You're missing another one. You haven't found another one that has fit your schedule. Yanit. Okay, so have you taken game theory? Okay, so somewhat easy electives. I'll just not tell off the bat. Game theory with Whitaker, easy A. Honestly, um, logic for CS, pretty simple. Class with Hernandez. I had him online. Hernandez. It's pretty straightforward. In logic you learn stuff like predicate logic, or it's kind of like an extension of discrete structures. It's not too bad. Numerical analysis is okay. I've had this, it's a math class more or less. You're if you're comfortable with like calc 2 kind of thing, which actually maybe scrap this one, but you have to use like the approximating techniques that you learn in calc 2 in this class. So like power series or something like that, you'd use that in this class actually quite often. You're taking logic already. What about game theory? Anything? Have you taken that as yet? Or maybe with Whitaker? Oh, you're taking. Okay, you're taking with Antonio Hernandez logic. Okay. Something else I could if you're into math at all or kind of thing, graph theory I heard is pretty easy. Um, like it's one of the easier math classes that you would have to take. It's it's like it's a again it's like an extension of discrete math or discrete structures, or you're going more into like the graph sort of stuff, and I assume it's like not as much proofs and stuff. Maybe that could be a prospective class that you could take. Uh, Computational geometry, depending on the professor, actually is not hard. I don't know if you guys know Tommy. He's like a UPE member. At least he said that computational geometry is pretty easy, like kind of like a walk in the park. So, and I think yeah, that's that. Oh, there's a class that Kianush is teaching actually. A foundations class. It's I forget if it's computational geometry or if it's which one is it? Which one is it? Oh my god, I wish I remembered this right now. Oh my goodness. Anyone know what other class is teaching? I think it's computational geometry. You'd probably be safe if you take that class at least. Like look that up possibly, Janet, and maybe see if he's teaching it, and that's possibly and see if your schedule is like aligned, and you could probably take that with him. Um, computational compute yeah, computational geometry and check graph theory. Check those two. But computational geometry, I'll type it up here. Wait, this is a private. Give me a second. Check that. I'm not sure if that's being offered right now, but uh, there's like these other classes here as well for the foundations, like combinatorics, math logic. Typically, for your harder classes, theory of algorithms, you learn stuff like what was it in this class? Like regular expressions. You learn uh, basically like compiler language kind of stuff. It's a math-based class, and there's a lot of proofs in it. Unless you're into that, I personally would not recommend it. I took that, I had to drop out. And then programming languages, I heard is easy. With Race, that might be something good to take as well. Uh, Algorithm techniques depends on the professor. I'm actually super hyped for next semester. Antonio Hernandez is teaching algo techniques. Like, whew, gonna be lit. Because in that class, you actually learn. If you want to get good at interviews, take this class. You're taking that with Race. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, that's good. If you want to get good at algorithms and whatnot, and you've already taken data structures, take algorithm techniques. It helps a lot with interviews. So that's a good class to take. But it is, I must disclaimer, one of the hardest classes you could take. One of the, I won't say hardest, because math logic just looks god awful, but algorithm techniques, yeah, with Hernandez sounds like a move. I had it with Ningji. I had to drop out, this semester. Y'all know how this semester was. Um, with Ningji, it was like, okay, I don't know if he's as good online. It's a hard class for sure with Ningji, I can tell you that. For real, sorry about that. Let's see what else. Systems. If anything, okay. Honestly, I don't know too much about these. I can only tell you about NetCentric, NetCentric with Downey. I mentioned Unix programming. Have you taken programming three? Or sorry, systems programming? How did you like that class? That might tell you whether take it. Take it. I heard it's not or it's difficult. Oh, that's the extra class that he teaches. I honestly don't know too much about Unix. It honestly sounds like a hard class, but if you really enjoy it, it might not be bad. But and you'll if it's Trevor's teaching it, might be a really good class. But oh snap! Oh, you took programming through with Ron and you liked it, then honestly, like Unix programming is super interesting. Well, at least from what it sounds like. So might not be something bad to take. Um, but yeah, but your prerequisite is probably it's like operating systems though actually. So just look into. Have you taken that? If not, then you might not be able to take it. Uh, let's see what else that I know about. Netcentric, good class, but a lot of work with Downey. But you learn. Oh, following. Oh, semester after might not be a bad choice then. Um, unless if someone in the chat thinks different. Okay, but that's yeah. Database management. I highly recommend this class. I feel like it's important. This is one of the things that I feel like every CS major should take. I know you already said you're going to take this next semester, but for everyone else, database management is like a class you can't go wrong. It's a simpler one of the simpler classes I think you can take, and pretty important as well. So highly recommend this class. Um, to be honest, this is like the only class I've taken out of all of these classes because I'm more of a math major, so I've taken more of the foundations classes because some of the classes like overlap, so I take less. But that's that. Um, but applications. So there's quite a few here. Software testing. I've heard. Okay, so at least I only know about with Peter Clark, and it's not worth. I would. It's a lot of hassle. It's very stressful. If you're able to take HCI, that's a pretty easy class I've heard. Maybe some busy work, but like thinking wise, like not that difficult as far as like I know. Uh, uh, Let me see. There's all of these. Any recommendations for 4104? Uh, the only one I know for next semester is Lassetti. Um, yeah, I know Deborah Davis teaches it sometimes, but Lassetti is the only one that's teaching it next semester. I checked. I mean the class overall isn't like hard, so I'm inclined to say that regardless, kind of whoever you take, you should be fine. But at least in this sense, this is more. I want to say like an English kind of class, but well, at least for like this kind of class, if you're looking in terms of different professors, it's just more how organized they are. That's at least what I've seen for some of the recommendations like online and stuff. That's what I've seen. Uh, but overall, not a bad class. 4612. Uh, machine learning. I've heard. Yeah, Lassetti very mixed, very mixed. So, uh, if you're just looking for something overall easy though, I would say it's like not bad. I've heard it's like okay. I've heard it's okay. It's not hard. Cap 4612. I've heard it is interesting, but at least one professor I've heard about, his name is Alonso, or don't know the name offhand, but it's at least if you had to take machine learning or I would take AI because the machine learning at FIU, at least the undergraduate level, is not so good. Um, because all what he does, at least the professor I'm thinking of, he just like shares like videos from like other professors or like from other schools, like maybe like Berkeley or something like that, and he'll just share those lectures. And then his exams are pretty hard, and he is like unhelpful. It does. Firstly, for ML. I would just try to like learn that online possibly. But AI, I've heard is not so bad with Babadia. I don't know their first name, but yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, ML, I heard is like, here. You could probably ask around and get different opinions, but that's just what I've heard because I was interested in taking that, but then I was deterred by some of my friends. Um, and then I know a few people taking that. I feel like that one is probably if you had to choose one of the two, it might be better. Not sure though. No, yeah. Again, if that's a class you really want to take my advice with like a grain of salt in this aspect, and just go for it. But that's what I'm heard. Natural language processing. Depends on the professor. There is this really one good. There's this professor, super good, Finlayson. If you could take with him, I've heard he's super good. But then I heard different semesters that like his TA was teaching the class or someone else was teaching it, and it was just like a lot harder, and you didn't really like learn as well as you wanted. So for NLP, it depends. Depends. Computer graphics. Actually, whoa, computer graphics. I think this is the one Keanu's is teaching. I think he's teaching this one. I let me see. Um, yeah, let me see here. What's the name of this class again? I have short-term memory. Uh, what? Oh, no, wait, okay. Yeah, just bear with me for a second. 4710, computer graphics. Keanush is teaching this class. Maybe check this class, yeah, see if he's still available. Also, as well, what's your standing? Like, are you a junior, a senior, or were you the one asking about your status earlier? Um, because if you could take graphics or juniors, I guess the senior. Or if you're a senior, then check to see if you could take Keanush for this class and just then like enroll. Because yeah, if Keanush, you typically can't go wrong. I know a few people that are taking like multiple classes with Keanush. It's fun. Uh, Data mining. Hernandez teaches this. Overall easy class. Easy, one of the easier electives you could take. Recommend. I'm taking this next semester myself, actually. It's online though. Uh, Prerequisite COP 4710. Uh, but Yanit, if this is open, and I'm not sure if you said this one you were gonna take, you could take this one as well. But overall, if you want like an easy elective, do data mining. Data mining is easy. SWE 2, you can only take this after you're taking software engineering 1. And I've heard you have to do like group presentations and it's just like more intense. If you're doing, so there's also, I didn't mention this, but if you're doing the CS major, you could also do your track in SDE or like software engineering, I believe. And what that entails is just like some of your required courses are like replaced with some of like the software engineering like electives. Like you might have to take software testing, you might have to take like SWE 2, stuff like that. It's just like a few things different. I feel like it's worth to mention that. Um, and then yeah, there's that. Then there's software testing. Don't recommend. At least with Clark, kind of. It's a lot of hassle. A lot of hassle in that class, and I don't know anything about Windows programming. Honestly, I can't say anything about Windows programming. And mobile app development. This sounds like a really cool class, right? But I think what's his name? Stephen Lewis is teaching this class. Uh, I've heard mixed reviews. I don't know if like it's. I think it's more theory than actually getting to build mobile apps. So, but it might be interesting to check out. I'd be interesting to see. Don't want to discourage anyone from doing any classes again. So, and yeah, that's pretty much at least this. If anyone wants me to go over like these natural, oh, actually, I could go over the natural sciences. If you visit geology online, I did that last summer. Super easy, super easy. Um, I recommend that. Although I know some people like with for geology, it's like a toss up. Professor's name, I don't remember the name. Give me a second. Don't. Ah, I think I wrote it. I think I wrote their name down. Oh, so this is also actually how I keep a track of my classes. Where you guys are seeing here now. I sent out the this earlier, um, but I personally just do it like in a Word document. You guys could do it like this as well. If you guys are interested, I could also send this template, but that's only if you guys want. Uh, Neptune Rimmel, this person. Uh, Pretty easy. All he does like McGraw Hill kind of things. Like you just go through. Summer was rough. Summer was a bit tough. And the funniest thing too. Send the docs. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Uh,
Thank you.
so this is like so this is I'm gonna just do like a view, and then you guys can save it. Give me a second. Yeah, here. And then you guys can create your own copy and edit the way how you want. You'll also see like random things here. Uh, Forget, yeah, whatever. This is between us here. But yeah, you also if you're in honors, uh, I also have some recommendations for honors classes as well that I took. But yeah, the summer I don't recommend that. Like it was not worth taking six. I so what I did, where is this? I took this summer A, literally that. Yeah. GLI 1010. That class is the one I took. Um, but yeah, even though it's like these classes are like kind of easier, no, you don't. You don't need to take. There's three classes. You would have to take like labs for, or no, for geology you don't. But if you take something like bio or chem, you're gonna have to take the labs just because of their departments. But actually, you could actually see. I don't know if you guys noticed, but you could see like a whole list of classes actually. Ah, pain. Give me a second. I'll show you guys like a whole list of classes you could take. Um, for science. I don't play like that. Um, so manage classes. So if you want to see, actually, if you want like to see, actually, I could show the academic transcript once I'm here one time. Yeah, no, let me see. There's managed classes, academic advising, degree audit, or this is one way you could tell about your academics. So yeah, this tells you at least what classes you've taken, what else you need to take. For science, if you want like a whole list of them, you go over to that's your bachelor's of computer science or your bachelor's of arts, whatever, right? Um, Actually, for BA, do you have to take these? No, I don't think so. So this is just for the BS students right now. Um, yeah, so this is but you could find also give me sorry, computer science. Yeah, so you click here and you'll find like all of these classes that you could take for your science electives. You'll sometimes look up on the website for like science classes, and they'll only offer like geology, bio, and chem. But you could actually take any one of these classes, and so see physical geology, A, super easy. Uh, and yeah, you could take whatever you're interested in. But I suggest if you're taking that, geology is easy. Uh, I forget whether it's astrophysics or astronomy. That's easy as well. And you don't have to take the lab for like these classes. The only ones you have to take lab for is like bio and chem. So if you want to take a lab, I don't imagine many people wanting to take a lab, but if you want to, take those classes. Yeah, also no problem. These classes are good. Also, if I'm going too fast or anything like that, and you want me to send something, just stop me too.
How do you get to the page again?
Oh, yeah, sure. I can go back to and show that. So let me start from the beginning. Okay, so you're on your MyFIU page, right?
Got it. Yeah.
Go into academic advising,
Got it.
degree audit.
Okay. Perfect. That's what I missed.
Yeah, and then you scroll down. Well, I know you were going to change it to CS, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So once you're registered, then you'll be able. Well, you could also see like your general requirements as well. Like you'll see first year experience stuff, like humanities, all of that. That's all here. Uh,
okay.
yeah, and then yeah, but then once you're in, you'll also see.
Yeah. Well, they're not fulfilled certain requisites, right?
Yeah, you'll see all. Yeah, you also see prerequisites. You'll see your sciences up here. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll also see. Yeah. So astronomy, that stuff is interesting. If you really liked physics and you took that, you could take there's like some other physics class, modern physics. I heard that was like interesting. I don't know if it's easy. I don't imagine, but you could take that and everything else I literally have no idea about. I apologize though. Um, although the Gen Chem I don't think is like too bad. With biology is a lot of studying, but again, these aren't like insane, I feel like. So you could take these as well. But if you want to avoid a lab, I wouldn't take those. And yeah, and then yeah, that's how you could access that. And as well, I might as well let me see if I could find like my transcripts. Uh, give me a second, just for everyone for. Oh, okay. Go into academic records, and you could see like transcripts. You click on transcripts, view unofficial transcripts. Uh, doesn't really matter. So yeah. And no, oh, you guys can see my address. It doesn't matter. But yeah, but essentially, so you'll have two values here for your undergraduate career. You'll see this is like all of the credits that I personally have taken. Uh, wait, this is fall 2020. Yeah, okay. So this is like all the credits, including my AP classes that are combined in this score. And then there's like all that I've actually taken physically at FIU for my major. And that's 77 credits. Um, so but uh, that's like one way that you could tell that stuff. Um, let me see if there's any other way that you can tell like what your I think it's if I'm not mistaken, you could find out somewhere in like your profile, uh, somewhere here, probably somewhere. There's much, but yeah, that's how you could access that stuff. Um, and what else? What else? There's uh, anyone here need advice about like calc or physics or stats? Let's
What professors do you recommend for them?
So I personally can't say anything about calc or
Mhm.
calc 1 or calc 2. I took that in high school, but physics I took here. I took excuse me. So for the physics, I actually did two, there's something called, uh, there's like a specific type of physics class that you could take. It's different than your normal like learning, Like, okay, so there's like two types of physics classes that you could take. One is like you just show up for your lecture, you got like problems and you got like tests, like all of that, like a normal class, and they're like big lecture halls and all that stuff.
Okay.
But the physics that I took, it's different because it's like um you don't like sit in like a lecture, you sit in like groups, and then you work on like kind of like projects together, or you work on uh like experiments together. Just like it's a lot more casual, and it's less like plug and chug kind of thing with like physics. It's more like descriptive kind of in a way. And for that class, I had Rodriguez, Ida Rodriguez. I enjoyed the class personally. I found it was like a cool way to learn physics. But if you just want something like cut and dry, kind of like normal, I heard Kamal Kadel is a good professor for physics one at least, and physics two. If you could probably take it with the same professor, he might be good. I had Ida Rodriguez for both physics one and physics two, and I enjoyed it.
Who did you
Enjoyed it.
say it was? Kamal?
Kamal Kadel, he teaches like the traditional style of physics. Yeah.
Okay. And Ida Rodriguez, like, how do am I eligible to be taking the other style of physics, the course that you were
Yeah.
talking about?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyone could take it. It's like whatever you prefer, honestly.
Is it also PHY 2048 though, or is it under another designation?
It's the same. It's the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You learn like the same material, it's just taught in a different style.
Okay.
And same for PHY 2049. Yeah, yeah. And actually, it's something to know about like that other style of teaching is that like, so for physics, like if you were taking with like for instance like Kamal Kadel, you have like specific like lecture classes, and then you have to go to like a specific like lab class, right? But with like Ida Rodriguez, it was like the labs and the lectures were like mixed into one. So you just had like three classes like every week, and when you go, it's like you could possibly just be doing like a lab or just like I don't know, or you're like reading some material together or something like that. Usually it's like some sort of lab or whatever, but it's not like the lab and lecture are merged for that class though. So that's something to keep in mind for that.
Okay. And when
Uh,
it comes to having heard things, do you hear any good recommendations for Calc 1 or Calc 2 in terms of professors or?
Looked, I have to pull up like a list. Give me a second. Uh, and as well, you might hear that there's like a calc for engineering. Uh, there's like calc one for engineers, calc two for engineers, but I don't know if you could take that for CS though. So I don't know if I would recommend it. Here. Let me see. Let me see. Two, three, uno. Okay. Also, yeah. Oh, because I'm in math, I've taken some of these, or I've heard of some of these people. Uh, Solange. Solange is one that pops out. She's good. She's good. Um, you'll learn really well in her class. I hear people say all the time. I never took her, but people will say that she is really good with her style of teaching. Uh,
Mm.
and you learn a lot. So, and then it's not that bad. Well, if you put in the work, of course. So, Solange is a good professor, and if you do, there's also I taken this professor personally, Young Chang's son. I actually I like this professor. I had him for linear algebra, um, and for topics of mathematical modeling, and he's good. He's good with the style of teaching. Tests aren't like too hard, um, and he takes time to make sure that everyone understands like what's going on. Super cool dude too, as well. So those are two I could um that I would recommend. Walter Caballoso Torres would not recommend. At least yeah, at least from what I've heard in the past. Kakulis, toss up. Uh, are there classes that we can take that count towards our prerequisites instead of normal options that they give us? You mean in terms of like CS requirements, or like our CS prereqs, or
I mean, I'm a freshman still, so I'm taking like my science and my English and all that.
right?
So is there like, or like even the arts, like is there no like tech class I can like count towards that
Uh,
instead of?
Good question. The only thing I could say, let me go back to the flow chart. I know this class, so you have things like global learning requirements and global writing, that kind of requirements. Like those will satisfy those. You don't have to take specific classes to get out of those. Um, so this is a Gordon rule with writing that satisfies that, and then this is like global learning. Although you have to keep in mind there's like two types of global learning classes though. There's like global learning general and global learning specific. And this satisfies the global learning specific, but you would have to take like another class to satisfy like global learning general. And I only found out about that recently, so I'm taking what am I taking? I'm taking sociology right now for global learning basics, or general, and it's 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 all right. But as far as like being a CS major, yeah, usually it's just what you don't get like special options for like those classes unless you're in the honors college, then you get like specific classes that will count to those some of those other like general requirements. But being like a CS major, it's just like these. But if you take like physics, of some of these things that you do though, they will like fulfill some of like the other things. Like if you take like discrete math, if you take like calculus, it will it'll take up like some of your math requirements. If you take like some of the sciences, it'll require some of the sciences. Um, and maybe even the maths. Fulfill some of the others. So, what I would suggest is like take a look at what's being offered for. Maybe you can even tell. Maybe I can even show you this. Academic advising, degree audit. Let me see if you could do this. Um, let's see, science, humanities. Let's say, for instance, humanities. Thanks a lot, FIU. That's helpful. Give me a second. Wait, what? Social science. I might go into like normal science, but normally, if you haven't completed like a specific thing as yet, you'll be able to like see the list of requirements and as well like general requirements FIU. You can also, yeah, there's also like this sheet. If you were in orientation, and becoming like a new major, you'll also have seen this probably as well. Oh wait, was that person who asked that question still here? Oh, I think he left, but for the rest of you guys, you could still like check here if you still need your general requirements. But yeah, that's pretty
Do
much.
you recommend the honors college?
Depends. Depends. Hey, wait. Let me see if he's coming back yet. Daniel Salas coming back though. I'm sorry. You said honors. Depends. Um, for CS, it's not like a big benefit as compared to like other majors, but if you want like priority registration is nice. If you're doing dorming, for some at FIU, the honors dorms are cool. And there's some like other things that you get with like the honors, but overall, probably wouldn't say, hey, congrats. I know you finessed it, bro. I know you got it. What I would suggest is like what I would probably not suggest it unless I mean some of the courses are interesting and stuff. Um, but overall, mm, maybe not 100% worth. Although I like the priority registration. I mean, I'm an honor, so I could tell you that. At least like the first year courses, they're kind of like a pain, honestly. You could save yourself a lot of headache and not take those.
What do you cover though?
Um, in the first year courses, it's like so you take like two courses essentially like in your first year. There's like IDH 1001/1002. So that class you take like for a whole year, and the same thing for IDH 1931. You take that for 2 semesters as well. Um, IDH 1001, it's a whole bunch of random stuff, honestly, for that class. Um, it's it's kind of like a lecture style kind of class, and you'll show up and you'll learn what like when I took it, it was like ethics of learning, or it was like a bunch of like random things. I think like one of them was like mythology. It was like I don't learning how to make like an infographic. Uh it was like I mean some of the stuff was interesting. I mean, and then the next semester I personally did not really enjoy it that much. I mean, you also have to do like some like reading assignments, and there's depending on what class you have, you might have like quizzes, but my class didn't really have that, so it's fine. But, and then the second oh infographics IDH 1001. That's if you're doing honors. If you're doing the honors college, then that's that. Yeah, actually, the infographics part was kind of cool. I never knew how to make one before, but yeah. What else? What else for that? And then it was interesting. My second semester of no worries, bro. We're good. My second semester for honors, though, it was so weird. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of strange. Like one part, like we had to like learn about like meditation, learn do like yoga. We would like sometimes the teachers would like turn off the lights in class, and they would tell us to come to the front of the room. We would do like yoga together and stuff. Uh, that was super interesting. Um, because as someone who never did yoga before, I guess that's something you learn. But some people they would just take like they would bring like pillows to class, and they would bring like blankets. So they would, as soon as the lights were turned off, they would like take like a 10-minute nap during that time. But then you also had to do some more reading assignments and whatnot. Personally, if you're just not, I mean, if you want to learn more about general kind of like random areas, uh, maybe it's interesting. It's interesting, but I personally did not enjoy the classes too much. I kind of skipped. Um, but they do take attendance in those classes sometimes. And then IDH 1931, it's like a one credit class. You show up, it's like once a week, 50 minutes or so, or an hour. Can't remember. This was freshman year. Um, and the main bulk of the class is like you do like a research project for it. But it's like really basic. So it's like the classes are not hard, but it's like if you want to put in the effort, I mean, it's good to have like on your resume, like I was in the honors college, and you get some like perks out of it. It's free to join as well, I'm pretty sure. So might not be bad. Might not be a bad thing. And then you get into upper level courses. So you have access to a few different types of classes when you do your upper levels. You could do like a research project, which is cool. I regret not doing that. You could do like study abroad if you like there's like Japan, there's like France, there's Spain, there's a few different places. But with COVID, how much I don't know if they're actually happening. And then there's like upper level courses. There's like a whole bunch of different classes that you could take, and that'll actually like where you were asking before about Raul. Yeah, I would not recommend it honestly. I would not recommend it. Uh, I would not recommend abroad. But yeah, Raul, you were asking like about like if you could take different classes that would fulfill some of these gen eds. If you're in honors, that's like the only way. Like some of the upper level division fulfill that. So. But yeah, that's pretty much honors. So, as someone who's been in the honors, uh, most will tell you it's not worth. Most will tell you it's not worth, just because of like the effort you have to put in. But if you take a look at like the benefits, priority registration, if there are things that you really value, I say it's not all that bad. Yeah, it's honestly like I don't personally really regret it. Like it's really not that bad, and you do get perks out of it. So, but others will tell you like they don't. It's a matter of opinion. I feel like. Um, but yeah, that's honors. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, I didn't. I guess I didn't cover stats. There's like teachers for this one are as well. I know a popular one is Guy, Ghai. He's pretty easy. Kind of like a monotone kind of dude in class, but pretty easy. that's 3032. Tenenholtz. Yeah, I had who did I have? I had it this past summer for 8 a.m. No, I couldn't. I can't take 8 a.m. classes. That's just not me. Hassan Tahiti Jaspi for this class. It was bad. Virtual at least bad. Don't recommend it. Um, I didn't learn a single thing in that class. I mean, I passed. Like I got like a B or whatever, but as someone who's taken like a stats before, like a stats with like calculus 3 kind of thing in it, like this one is just weird. I don't really know. I know. Thank you. That was not a fun summer. I wanted to graduate earlier for some reason, but now I'm very much regretting that decision. School is like a safe place, so. But yeah, that's all the classes. If you guys have any other questions, I'm more than happy to answer anything. I also think that there might be another UPE event going on right now, so apologize if you were attending. I think it's part of the UPE code program. I think they're doing intro to mobile dev today. If you're a part of that program, I think they started. You could join that, um, but yeah. Um, yeah, if you guys have questions, I'm definitely down to answer. Otherwise, that's all for sure. Yeah. E-board, but I can't because I'm a junior, graduate. Uh, fall 2021. You could apply. You what the requirements for the board are is that so the position lasts from spring 2021 until fall 2021. So if you graduate fall 2021, that's perfect. uh yeah, so once you're just there that full year, you could definitely apply. Definitely recommend it. I'm part of the board. I've been in the director of mentor for like 2 semesters now. No, not 2 semesters, 4 semesters, 2 years. Personally really enjoyed it. It's a fulfilling experience. Yeah, you could definitely apply still. Like I mentioned, here. So this is upfiu.io. You could apply there. As well, if you guys have any questions, this is my Discord handle. Uh, and this is my email too. Anytime you guys have any questions or anything like that, definitely more than happy to uh answer. And deadline is tomorrow. Uh, yeah, definitely it's tomorrow. So tomorrow at 11:59, and they extended it already. So if you're planning on applying, for sure try to apply tomorrow. Is it tedious? A lot of time commitment. I just had an internship interview today, so I might do one next semester. How many people usually apply? Depends on the role that you're applying for. Uh, Usually like, I mean, there's like a lot of positions open. There's like 25 positions open. I believe. Uh, I could show this on the website. Let me see. Um, Executive board. So these are the positions up for grabs. Essentially, so there's like 36, 9, 11, 11, 14, 17, 20, 20-ish positions open. Mentor and finance. Yeah, you could also apply for multiple as well. You could apply for like a directorship position, and you could apply for like a general director. And there's a lot of time commitment. Depends on your role. I'll be completely honest. A director role is typically more involved. I feel like you're kind of essentially like your own leader, kind of like in your own club. Um, you, but yeah, so like for instance, I'm the director of the mentor program, and it's definitely more involved, I would say, than a position maybe like communications or so. Although there is work involved with those as well, but you have more of like a committee to manage when you're a director, like people that will help you like set up events like the one we're having like right now, or depending on, or running the program in itself, you'll also have to manage that as well. So if you're running for like a directorship position, it might be a bit intense, but maybe like a general kind of role. If you're That's if you're doing an internship. I mean, I'm able to manage being director of mentor and also doing like school and stuff. typically time commitment, I'm able to manage school, mentor, maybe like something like Spark Div, but that's like usually the max. Otherwise, it's just too much. But if you're doing stuff like if you're a general director, you may be able to manage more. But if you're doing an internship, I would suggest maybe some of the roles that are like less involved, historians a little less involved, CSO rep, um, logistics, membership finance, communication. Maybe one of those roles are a little less involved, but
Well, when do you recommend that we take internships during what year or upon what
uh
when we reach what tier of the CS
oh
map?
uh as soon as possible.
Yeah.
As soon
Okay.
as possible. Yeah, I mean, there's like you could do
Maybe after taking COP one, programming one.
once you, even if you're in COP1, right? So if there's like internships that are for freshmen and sophomores. I actually did a sophomore internship with Facebook this past summer, and the requirements was like you were either taking programming one or like you had just taken it. And you're planning on starting. When are you planning on starting the CS degree? Like next no, next
Yeah, it should be officially it would be in summer, I
okay.
believe. Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm transitioning. I'm already taking classes for computer programming next semester, but
Oh,
nevertheless, I believe it's going to be official in summer.
nice, dude. Congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Um, Yeah, and then for sure, yeah, you could apply for like those like sophomore internships, freshman internships, and as well as there's like internships as well that don't require like that you know all like data structures and algorithms as well. Like when I was a sophomore, I was just taking data structures, didn't know anything, didn't do any leak code or anything, but I did manage to pass the State Farm interview. So there are like other internships that you can apply for as well. And my
Where do I look? Handshake?
Uh, Handshake is a place that you can look. Actually, I have a resource for you guys that you guys can look at. This is between us though. Let me see here. Give me a second. Home. Oh my God. But there are like lists of yeah, LinkedIn is a place that you could find them. You could find them on Handshake. There's this guide here I'll share in chat. That's a good resource. Um, that has like a bunch of stuff on internships and like how to get good with like interviews and stuff. And there's also this one. It's a GitHub repo that's being like constantly updated on internships happening and whatnot. So definitely
Okay.
recommend checking those out. And then they're always being updated. But typically the recruiting season is mainly held in the fall semester. So like this semester right now.
Okay.
An internship. So if you're just starting off, you haven't taken any CS classes yet, I would suggest maybe try applying for the sophomore internships, freshman internships like next year, because I think most of them are closed at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, that's typically how recruiting works. As
And
well,
then there are specific internships for sophomores. How do I search it?
there's a few. I'll just put some of them in chat. FBU is
Do I have
one.
to put it in the search bar? Like,
Yeah, you can look up sophomore freshman internships. But that one, FBU is Facebook University. That one is for sophomores and freshmen. I did that one personally. There's also Microsoft Explore. There's just like a handful of them, but Ultimate Software does really, really good internships. Yo, nice. Yeah. Alti is very good around this area, and they do hire a lot of FIU students. So definitely recommend Alti, uh, Microsoft Explorer, Google Step, Uber Star. Those are some freshman internships to look out for sure. And if you look in, I think in the document that I sent, I think that might list it there as well.
thank you.
Of course, yeah. But yeah, definitely looking for internships ASAP for sure. Because I mean, the more experience they can get before you leave university, the better. And companies, that's like the main thing they look for, experience, like internships, that you've done projects, which is what I was talking about earlier in the talk as well. Like it's good to focus on classes and stuff. It's definitely important, but you also have to make sure that what you're doing, like getting involved in something like UPE is really, really good. It shows that you have leadership and you have initiative. And I've been able to use UPE as a way to, like in interviews and stuff like that. And it's, it's, it's really good. And then projects, getting involved for sure, getting that hands-on experience is super important, super, super important. That's what companies are looking for. Uh, let's see. Naomi, you were saying communications, marketing, or social media. Apply for all, I would say. You're probably going to be asked like different questions about like communications. You might have to write like a passage. Marketing, you might have to show like a portfolio. But I would say marketing. If you're looking in terms of like most intense, I think marketing might be most intense. Um, but I would say apply for all, and you could always I know for the positions like you could always get it, and find out more about the position if you get it, and you could accept or decline. It's not like like if you're offered it, like it's like a job offer, right? Like you're offered it, you could choose to take it or whatnot. So maybe things might change and stuff. I would suggest maybe apply and then see later on if you get it, and if you don't feel like it, decline. Um, offer up, offered a new office. Ooh, hey, that's lit. That's lit. Definitely check out OfferUp. But yeah, e-board positions. Typically time commitment is like so you have like your responsibilities. There's an e-board meeting every Monday at 8 p.m., 8 to 10 or 8 to 9. And typically, yeah, if you do your roles, might be like 5 hours a week commitment. If you're a director, maybe a bit more. Oh, thank you, Danny. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. Definitely. Um, that's good. That's good to know. But yeah, that's some advice that I would definitely suggest as well, like in terms of like internships and then. But if you're looking into head into the e-board, definitely I would say apply. It ends tomorrow, so as well. Yeah, you could ask me about any of the positions, and I could tell you about that as well. It's perfectly cool. But in terms of like the class planning, unless if anyone has any other questions, at least that's all I have to offer. In terms of like because at least for like the BS here, that's of course, yeah, and as well I sent my Discord information, I sent my email. Please like reach out to me if you need assistance. I love helping out any way I can. Yeah, for sure. Um, as well. I'll recommend you guys also check out there's another organization here on campus as well that's offering like resources like UPE and stuff as well. And I'm actually a part of here. It's called the Google Developer Student Clubs here at FIU. I'll share an invite link to the Discord if you guys are interested in joining. Give me a second here. And I'm actually yeah, and you'll definitely get as well as like on the UPE server and on this server as well. You'll get a lot of help and a lot of advice as well. So definitely, one of my biggest things is being involved with the community is one of the best things that you could do for yourself here at FIU because everyone's usually super helpful and they're really want to help you out and like we're all kind of like in the same place, so we all understand like the struggles and everything like internships, what it'd be. And I feel like being part of a community like UPE and DSC, like what I just sent, is very important to even now because of the virtual stuff. But yeah, I'm glad this was of help with you guys, and for sure look into joining the mentor program if you're here another semester. And you could get advice from a mentor or from like an industry mentor. So that's another thing I recommend as well. But yeah.
And how do we join the mentorship program?
There will be that's a good question. Next semester there will be application opening. You can apply. There will be like in the first week or two of classes there'll be applications open, and then you could request to be a mentor or a mentee. Well, I assume since you're a new student, you could be a mentee.
Exactly.
yeah,
And
and
what are the perks of being a mentee?
mentee, you get help from a mentor who has had like an industry experience and stuff. Get help with like your resume, help with the classes, get help with like finding your path at FIU. And they're also someone that they could help like work on projects with you, introduce to like other people and stuff. Like as you're a new student at FIU, and then also to this, or more so to this major, it's a good way to get integrated into the community and feel more comfortable where you are. And you also learn from someone who's been through the experience, that same experience before, and they could tell you like what they learned from their mistakes and from their experiences how to move forward. It's personally, I had that experience before, or like I had a mentor, and they helped me make decisions like going into doing the double major in math, and like internships and stuff. They also serve as someone who could keep you in check and someone who will look out for you as well. So I highly recommend
Are there
um,
requirements to be
uh,
a
to being a mentee. No, if you're a new student, you apply, and you how the mentorship works, like you sign up, and there will be like a mixer progress process. You meet all of like the mentors and mentees that are there, and you can see who you like, who would get to who do you want to be paired with. You could submit like a form saying like these are the people I like to be paired with, and you'll be paired possibly with a mentor that is similar to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm guessing around the time that it's going to start, you're going to send out emails. The
Yeah.
UP?
Yeah. UPE, you'll see Discord announcements. It'll be everywhere. It'll be, if you're following the Instagram, Twitter, you'll see applications everywhere opening up. And yeah, Daniel, yeah, definitely recommend. Daniel was actually a mentee, and now he's a mentor now. Definitely seen Daniel grow a lot into from the time he started and until now. So I definitely recommend it. It's a shame I have never gotten to be a mentor myself, but next semester I'm planning on being a mentor. Um, so definitely a program that I really treasure a lot.
Okay.
Here, let me. Is this still recording? Wait, I forgot it's still going. Let me pause recording. I think is stop share or pause share.
Are you going to distribute the recording? So that
Uh, yes, yes,
okay.
for sure. Yeah, I will make sure to share this out. This will be Uh, I think I just stopped the sharing, but I did definitely at least. I'll definitely get the recording to you guys. No worries about that at all.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah. If no one has else any other questions, then thank you guys so much for coming out again, and I'll put it back here again. That's my Discord. Reach out to me at any time if you have any questions. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. Stay safe in these times, and um, hopefully, hopefully see you guys around.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Take care.
Thanks so much. Thank you. See you guys. Um,